My name's Katie, and I'll be demonstrating a gentle yoga sequence that's actually appropriate for the prenatal student as well. I do need to let you know that this is an exercise program that you need to talk to your physician about. This or any exercise program, you really should chat with your doctor first, and especially so for the pregnant student. This is not intended to treat anything, but is intended to mobilize the body, open the hips, and I think will be a really nice, gentle practice for the average person and the prenatal student. So here we go. We're actually going to start in a child's pose today. So in a tabletop position, hands right at the shoulders, knees are wide, big toes come toward one another. Turn the palms up, sink back into the hips, forehead to the mat, and we'll start with some breath work here. For the pregnant student that needs more space, they can stay propped up on the elbows. Just taking a few deep breaths here, letting the belly expand, feeling the back of the body relax, the tops of the feet relax. You can soften in the head, neck, and shoulders, and just breathe. Then we'll press up onto the hands into our tabletop position. Knees are as wide as you need them to be comfortable, especially if you're accommodating baby. Hands right under the shoulders. Take a big breath in to prepare. As you exhale, round the spine, tuck the head and tail. As you inhale, move the belly to the mat, lift the head and seat. And we're just alternating with the breath here. Exhale to flex the spine. Inhale to extend the spine. And we return to neutral spine. From here, inhale to prepare. Exhale, swing your hips to the right, look to the right. And alternate hips to the left, look to the left. So just breathing in your own rhythm. Head and tail moving toward one another. To the right, toward one another. To the left. And return to center. From here, inhale, rock forward. Exhale, circle to the back and around. So again, finding a breath pattern that works for you. We're warming up the shoulders, the hips, the wrists, the knees. Knees should be wide again to accommodate the belly depending on where you are in your pregnancy. And we'll reverse. Leaning into the ribs, the hips. And we'll return to all fours. Let's walk the hands forward at the shoulders and apart, moving into what's called puppy pose. Seat is lifted, forehead to the mat, the elbows are extended, one long line through the spine to the top of the head. And again, the pelvis is up here, so it's different than child's pose. So we're looking for lots of length in the spine. This is a nice modification for downward facing dog. You have the option to melt the elbows down here, for a little bit of chest and shoulder opening. Then we'll pick up the elbows, walk the hands back under the shoulders. Let's extend the right leg to the side, toes pointing forward, heel pointing back. Inhale, open the chest, reaching the right fingertips to the ceiling. As you exhale, reach the arm forward to shoulder height and the hips back, pressing down through that right inner thigh. So it's inhale to expand, exhale to reach. Maybe one more of those. And bring the hand down, tuck the leg in. Setting up on the second side. Chest opening to begin. Stacking the shoulders. And exhale, reach through. So we're also getting a little bit of shoulder stabilization here, a little bit of core work, very gentle. And we'll bring everything back in. From here, we'll prepare for downward facing dog. We'll tuck the toes under, sit back toward the heels, really spread the fingertips, lift the knees, press the weight back. Head floating between the upper arms, downward drop in the heels, long spine. Option to walk through the feet a little bit. Again, widening the feet if you need to accommodate the pregnant body. If this feels like too much intensity for you, come back to that puppy pose. Then we'll sink both heels down. Just breathe. We'll gently lower the knees. Relax the feet and take a rest in child's pose. We'll transition to all fours again. This time walking the fingertips a little bit to the right so there's room for that left foot to step forward. We'll come down into a knee down lunge, trying to open up the chest, sinking into the hips. If it's too much stretch in the hips, move your seat back. Otherwise, hips are moving forward, trying to open up the chest and heart. Let's plant the hands, make the low lunge, pick up the back knee, really firm the back thigh. Let's inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, sink down. And again, inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. You can also be on fingertips or fists. And last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. We'll lift the hips, walk toward the back leg into our wide forward bend. Hands can stay forward under the shoulder for a nice long spine, or for a bigger hamstring stretch, walk the hands between the feet, drawing the elbows in line with the wrists. From here, you have the option of bending and stretching the knees, gently rocking the hips side to side. We'll walk the hands forward. Continue going toward that right side. We'll come down into the knee down lunge on the second side. So we're trying to open the hips, the back thigh, and the heart. We'll add the back leg again, extending the back knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale to sink, really reaching through that back knee. If this is too much, then just rest in that knee down lunge. And finally, last one. We'll lift the hips, walk center. Hands can be again between the feet or reaching for the outside of the lower legs. Really pressing down through the outside edge of the foot. We'll walk forward, come back around to where we started. Rest the knee. Front knee joins the back knee, and we're back into our tabletop position. Let's actually have a seat and do a couple of things seated. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together, fingertips to the back of the body. Press down into the hands as you lift the heart and drop the thighs. So you're welcome to do some hip opening this way. Otherwise, you can reach for the ankles, use the elbows to gently ground the thighs, and forward bend from here. So we'll take several deep breaths, softening in the head, neck, and shoulders, gently grounding the thigh bone with the elbow. And we'll roll up through the spine. From here, we'll draw the heels forward, or adjust them forward. We'll hold the shins. Inhale here, think of leading with the navel. Walk the palms forward, and bow the forehead toward the heels. Several deep breaths here into the back of the body. You'll likely feel some stretch wrapping around the outsides of the hips. And again, we'll roll up through the back. Good. From here, we'll prepare for a seated squat. So the knees are bent, and we'll bring the elbows to the inside of the thighs, really lifting up out of the low back. Leaning forward, try to relax the seat back and down, belly moving forward between the thighs. Option 2, lift the arches and kind of really drop back in the thighs, relaxing here. Or to add just a little bit of rotation with the left shoulder down, right arm reaching. Enjoying some nice stretch between the shoulder blades and onto the second side. Really using that shoulder to press the thigh back. Good. From here, we'll sit up and we'll extend the legs. So it's an easy, wide stretch, or for those with more flexibility, you can adjust the pelvis forward. We're looking for the kneecaps to point straight up and to be right on top of the pelvis, not dropped back. So again, we can use the fingertips behind us to sit right on top of the stretch, or to even lean forward into it. If you have the mobility to come down to your forearms, that's an option too. And just several deep breaths here, relaxing into the forward bend. Head, neck, and shoulders are soft. Each exhalation moving a little bit bit deeper into the stretch, but moving really mindfully. Especially in the pregnant body, we want to be careful not to overstretch. Good. Walk the fingertips back. We'll fold the right leg in and sit up tall. Right hand to the floor, extend the left arm overhead, so you're reaching out one long line on the left side of the body. Option to look down to the shoulder or up into the bicep. We'll sit up from here, bicep up, going up and over toward the straight leg. And optional forward bend. In the pregnant body, you may have to adjust the ankle to create space. And we'll sit up and begin the second side. So this stretch might look different for everyone depending on flexibility in the side of the body. And some nice lateral flexion here. Again, creating space in the torso. We'll go up and over toward the extended leg. You may be here. You may be able to move closer to the leg. And again, optional forward bend. And sitting up. We'll tuck this leg in and resume our tabletop position in all fours. So once we're warm, and we've had the opportunity to maybe do a few sun salutations, prenatal sun salutations or basic sun salutations, we can get into some bigger hip opening exercises. We can pull the right ankle forward, extend the back knee, and slide back. If you're tight in the hip, you'll notice this seat floating up off the mat. You can use a pillow or blanket underneath, and you can adjust the front ankle to accommodate your belly. We get a little bit of chest opening here, back bending, and then we get into the hips by forward bending. Let's take a few deep breaths here, sinking into that front hip. And you may stay here as long as you like. Each exhalation is moving a little bit deeper into the forward bend. We'll lean to the right, bend the back knee, drag the leg forward, and do a gentle transition to the other side. Left leg pulls forward. We bring both shoulders around, a little bit of chest opening, and then our forward bending. Wherever we are in this stretch, we actually want to come forward symmetrically, so just notice that in your shoulders. Coming up, we'll lean to the side, bend the back knee, and return to all fours. From here, let's come back into a child's pose again. And you could finish your practice here, or you could do a nice restorative position that works for you and your body as Shavasana to finish. And that's it for today.